To the B, it's M to the B, it's M to the B.
Hey everybody! This is Eva. I couldn't resist. What can I say? I'm already starting off with an This is what Sophia warned you guys about. So I was just listening to Sophia's solo pod episode and I was like, well, I'm about to cook dinner. I'm in England, obviously, and I was thinking maybe I could do a little come cook with me vlog because it's been too long since my presence on the Couch Potatoes podcast. So I thought I'd take you guys along with me, maybe give you like a bit of a life update and just chat because, you know, you haven't seen my face in a minute. So I know you missed me. But yeah, so I figured I'd take you along. But to start off, this is my new room. Not quite as fun as the typical Couch Potatoes background. There's no Justin, there's no Harry. There's no photo collage wall. We just have prison block, like, gray, I don't know. It's looking really, really lame. But I'll kind of take you out a little bit more. There's like a little shelf. Here's my window, little mirror. And my bed. That's pretty much it. I'm currently in the midst of looking on Facebook Marketplace for like free room items to jazz up the place. But in the meantime, this is what we're working with. So yeah, but I'm gonna go downstairs and we're gonna cook some New Jersey Italian classic dinner. It'll be a surprise. Okay, I'm back. We're downstairs in my new kitchen too. I mean, not that you guys even saw my previous kitchen or even Sophia's kitchen, but we're here. Today we're gonna be making spaghetti bolognese, which apparently is a huge English classic dish for some reason. Yeah, apparently all the Brits love this. Like, I got here and immediately they were like, I'm not gonna do the accent, but they were just like, oh, like we're cooking spag bowl. Spag bowl. Like, what the fuck is a spag bowl? And they said, you never had spaghetti bolognese? I'm like, well, who the fuck's calling it spag bowl? Not the Italians. Not the New Jerseyans. Yeah, so tonight we're gonna be cooking that because the beef at the store was like half off, but expires today. So we're gonna be making that because I had no other choice. Oh, quick rant while I'm here. So I brought my purple water bottle from home. I also brought purple shirts. Because purple is one of my favorite colors, I have a purple wristband for my Apple Watch. And I also brought a kind of purple raincoat just for them to be upset with me because apparently purple is the color of our rival school. So I'm like, so nobody wanted to like tell me that before I got here. Not that that matters because I would have brought purple anyway. And if you don't like my water bottle, then buy me a new one because that's from the States. So I'm not getting a new one. But yeah, I thought I would share that rant because I was actually like, you guys are tweaking. Like, I'm actually not going to be doing that. Okay, so thankfully, the house that I moved into had like a bunch of appliances and stuff already. Like, they had a full cupboard of forks and knives and like cooking utensils and stuff. So I'm living lavishly because I came with nothing, obviously. And even one of my housemates, like, she moved in the other day and she's not here at the moment, but she brought like some stuff, but most of it was already here. So we're up, actually. I feel like I have so much to talk about, but my head is so empty. That's what happens when you get in front of a camera, isn't it? I was just listening to the pod, so like Sophia's solo episode. I actually didn't get to the part if she talked about like I don't even know. She talked about everything and nothing, so I like couldn't keep up. But overall, she did a good job alone, so I'm gonna give her some credit for that. And actually, I was thinking I kind of want to have a drink with Den. Sue me. You know what's also really weird? This is a bit of a culture shock thing. They ID you at the grocery store for Red Bull. Yeah, so they ID you for Red Bull. I was like, wait, really? And I didn't bring my ID, and they literally were so pressed with me, and I was like, and they were like, you need to be over 16. Do I look 16 or younger? I was like, I'm 22, like, and then even if I pull out my New Jersey license, they're like, the fuck? I'm like, obviously you hear my voice, like, I'm not British. Cheers, guys. I'm having a Thatcher's cider. I actually haven't tried this, but I had one at a pub the other day, and it was really good. So it was like a flavored one. Cheers. This is still the same nail polish from the previous vlog. It's not looking too good though. Okay, wait, let me like actually start the stuff and then I'll chat some more because I'm feeling overwhelmed. I had to look up earlier how to turn my stove on because it's like all touch control and I've never seen anything like it, so yeah. Okay. ain't locking. Yeah, and since it's a new stove, I made eggs earlier and then fucked them up because I just didn't do it correctly. I burnt them to a crisp, so that was really good. That was a good first cooking in the house experiment, or experience, I guess I should say. Okay, so I've been here already for like a week now, give or take. Yeah, it's September 6th. I moved here on like the 28th, pretty much. I've been all over the place because immediately I started preseason for lacrosse. Like immediately. Next day, I like literally got to my like housing accommodation on the night of the 28th, and then I had lacrosse starting on the 29th, morning of the 29th. So I've been busy, like, it's ridiculous, honestly. We've had practice every day, except for the weekends, and lifts twice a week. And yeah, it's definitely a bit of a shock because I just, like, I mean, I worked out a bit this summer, but I definitely didn't do things constantly nor for that long. So it was just a bit of a shock. And I'm getting beat the fuck up. Like, I'm actually getting abused here. Okay, I have a huge bruise on the back of my arm, and I have a bunch of bruises, like, up and down my arms. That's, like, typical for lacrosse, but yeah, I'm getting beat the fuck up. And I'm sore. My legs have never hurt this much. My hips are like so tight, and I'm playing like just okay. So it's definitely been an interesting experience so far. A bit stressful, but I'm trying to stay positive and continue with it because it's nice to like meet everybody, and like I've met some really nice people on the team so far. And like even last night actually I'll tell this whole story time because it was really funny. I hope it's as funny for you guys. So last night I was supposed to hang out with two girls on the team, and we talked about it like in practice, but we didn't set a time or anything. And I texted both of them, or I texted one of them, and I was like, hey, like what time are you thinking for tonight? Because she said that they were making dinner. So, and we got out of practice at like 7. So I was like, oh, it's like time for dinner. So I showered, and then I texted them and been like, hey, like what are you guys thinking? And I got no response. But then she sends a text to the group chat basically saying, like the big group chat of all the players, saying, does anybody have a ladder? I'm like, okay, like this is a little interesting. Like I'm gonna mind my business though. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And basically I texted her like 30 minutes after that, and I was just like, oh hey, like wait, what's going on, you guys? Like, you know, like I don't know. And then they sent another text basically saying that they found a ladder. And so they sent another text saying that they found a ladder, and they were just like really appreciative. At this point I'm like, what the fuck is like, what is going on? Why do they need a ladder? And then finally the initial friend that I texted, she responds to me and she's like, hey, like so sorry, because mind you at this point they hadn't responded for like an hour. And I was like, okay, well I'm like kind of hungry, and like if they're not like down for dinner anymore, like we'll figure this out. And she was like, so sorry, like by their housemates. She was like, oh sorry, she got locked out of her room on the 2nd floor because they have both a house key and a room key. She was like, she got locked out of her room, so she needed a ladder to climb up. And let me show you the picture, but she got up there, like she was up. Yeah, you can see her outside of her room with the ladder. Like what the fuck? So that was just like really funny. And I was like, okay, like okay. And then she's like, okay, like you can head over. And then she was like, wait, never mind, like we have to return the ladder. And I was like, oh, okay, well I'll meet you guys like halfway. So I'm like walking along, and then I run into them carrying the ladder like up the street. And I'm like, all right, well I'm here to help. Like where are we walking this to? I'm thinking it's like another block or two. It was like walking maybe 10-15 minutes, which is fine. I was ready to help. But yeah, we did that. We get to campus, which is where it needed to go, and we have to put it up on this like really high like surface. I don't know how they got it initially, but they had to put it back. And so none of us were tall enough, but we're like jumping to put it back, and it's just not going well. And so the other girl is like, oh, like, let me jump on your back. And so she's on my back, and we're like trying to, she's probably only like this much taller because of me her being on my back, and I'm not that tall. So we just look like literal clowns trying to put this ladder somewhere. Drink break. And it was just like so silly. We were able to get it up, which was good. Fast forward a little bit, we're back at their house. They made dinner, they made like udon, like noodles and broth, and it's like, I don't know what the word is, but it was really good. It took a long time to make though, so we didn't eat until like 10:30. And we also made cookies, and we should have just known that this shit was like cursed from the beginning, because I mean the food ended up being really good, but the cookies, we preheated the oven and then left them sitting on top while we were eating because we wanted to time it right. And then so we look back at the one baking sheet of cookies, and they are just all one cookie. So we're like, oh, I mean, we'll still bake it. We'll see what happens. So we did. And then the girls, there were like 2 girls in particular that were working on the cookies, and they realized that they didn't put in any baking powder. So they were thin. They ended up being really good. Oh, sorry, I forgot the best part. What am I doing? One of the girls took them out of the oven, the ones that had become one big cookie. She takes them out of the oven, and maybe it was like hot or something, but she immediately like loses her balance or like lets go of the one side. So they just, this one giant cookie plops to the floor. And we all watch it, and she's like, ah! So that was really, really fucking funny. We still ate it because one of the girls started immediately putting it back on things. She's like, 5-second rule, put it back in the oven. Like, it was obviously not cooked thoroughly enough because it just slid off and then, but so yeah, that was really funny. And it was, overall the cookies were still delish. They just were really flat. But you know, what can you do? A cookie's a cookie. There's already just been like so many just ridiculous things going on. And yeah, I've actually been mostly off the grid, as in I haven't had cell reception unless I'm on Wi-Fi. So I'm just like a liability. Like half the time people will be like, is Eva with you? Like, yeah, I'm just in my own world. It's like a little ridiculous. We're working on it. That's like my #1 goal for this week. Friday night, so I have no lacrosse tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, I need to figure out my fucking phone. Like, it's getting ridiculous. Also, this water is taking forever to boil. And I don't know like when to start the beef. Because I think when I start the beef, I'm gonna be really stressed to do this and do that. Yeah, like everybody's leaving for the weekend. Like maybe a couple people will stay around, but pretty much all of my like teammates are leaving, so like I'm, you know, whatever. I haven't been able to like watch any movies or like really do anything except for play lacrosse. It's actually so humbling and so time consuming, but it's fine. It's fine. Oh, another fun thing I did the other night was we went to a pub, which they didn't tell us what the vibes were gonna be, but they were like, oh, we're gonna go to this pub like with some of the girls on the team, like yada yada yada. So me and the other American that I'm like close with, we went, and I had wet hair because I had just gotten out of the shower. I had no makeup on. I had this sweater on and jeans. And we walked in and I see girls in going out tops, makeup on, hair done. I was like, should I just turn around and leave? Like, this is embarrassing. I was like, oh, I thought this was like a chill, like maybe get a drink kind of pub, maybe play a little bit of pool, maybe a little dart. Like, no, they were dressed to the nines. Yeah. And that was a bit jarring, but I persevered. I sat there. And I actually ended up doing karaoke for the first time in my life. Well, we walk in and it's karaoke night at the pub. And I was somebody told me basically that the Brits love their singing, they love their dancing, they love their chants, their cheers, yada yada. It's really sweet. So we walk in and there's like a men's team there. And they're singing Katy Perry terribly. I was like, alright, okay. I can get behind that. And as time goes on, I'm like, oh, that like kind of looks like fun. Like that's kind of looks like fun. And the other American and I agreed that we would sing like a really American song up for karaoke. So that's what we did. We did Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. And we had a couple other people join us and it was beautiful. A lot of the boys weren't singing along to that one. I think because, you know, the song is about them. But they persevered. And I had some solo moments. I didn't think my mic was really on because I like couldn't hear myself. And then later on they were like, no, your mic was the loudest. Your mic was the loudest. I was like, don't tell me that because I was singing. Like, well, it wasn't like a performance, but I was like, oh, you guys like heard my solo. Cool. But yeah, so there's definitely been some really fun moments and some not so fun moments. So persevering. It's been weird being on my own and not being with like anybody from home. It's been pretty sad actually. But I just changed my wallpaper on my phone. Okay, it's not just Jade. I don't want them to think that. But it has like, you know, like people from home and stuff. And I'm feeling a little homesick, but I'm also excited to be here. I'm excited to go to school again. And school doesn't start for another like 2 weeks, like give or take, which is crazy to me. Like all my friends that are still at school are like, they've already started weeks ago or like a week ago. And I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta get going. The water's starting to boil, so I might put that in. So there have been so many like phrases and things here that are so jarring. And there's like names that I really can't pronounce. And that's my bad. But I have like a really hard time just, I don't know. I don't speak their language. They don't speak mine. I'm still scarred from the time that Sophia and I made spaghetti something and the pasta caught on fire. So that's why I will always be breaking my spaghetti from now on. I mean, I have a electric stove now, but still, the principle still applies. Okay, I think that's good for like a single serving. Yeah, there's like so many things that I say or that like they say, and there's just a language barrier, even though it's all English. Nope, we don't understand each other. And like, they just they just have like certain words for things that are so different from us. We're not like so different, but like different enough where we say it and we're like, wait, what? But yeah, like their names here are definitely like, not like funky, I don't want to like shame, but they're definitely just different than like our names are in the US. Like on my team, I have 2 honors, but it's pronounced Anna because of the British accent. But when I say their name, I have to kind of say like Anna. Also, that was a really, that was a really threatening shot. And they have a Habby. I can't say her name. Emily, like with an A, but like sounds like Emily. There's just like a couple things that I really had a hard time pronouncing. And I feel silly because it's like these names aren't that hard. It's just like, especially with an accent, they really get me good. Yeah, I hate beef. I hate beef. Sorry. I like hate cooking. Whoa, I look sponsored by vegetable oil. I hate meat, raw meat, and like chicken and stuff. Like it just makes me so uncomfortable. But we're gonna get over that fear a bit more this year because I need to cook a lot more. And I've already been cooking like a little bit here and there, especially like with other Brits and people. But what was my initial, what was I just talking about? Oh, but like even the other day I said the phrase like under the table, like when you're being paid, and they were like blank blank. I was like, oh, let me rephrase. So that's like just one of the many examples where they just are like, what the fuck? Oh, yesterday I got poured on at practice, and so this morning I woke up with a little itchy throat. This is just a nice warm welcome to England weather. So excited. But, oh, don't look at the pan. Oh, another cute little story time. I went to this pizza place actually the other night at like this like, I don't know, this place. That was the least descriptive sentence I think I could have ever said. We went to get pizza at this cute little restaurant, and they do these like huge pizzas, and they're actually pretty good. And we were just like chatting, and I mentioned, they were talking about New York City, and they were like, do you like New York? And I was like, a little bit sometimes. And I was just explaining to them like, I live like however far from New York. I live like 45 minutes from Philadelphia. And they were like, Philadelphia? And I was like, yeah, Philadelphia. Like, you know, a big city near me. And they were like, oh, we know Philadelphia from the cream cheese. I was like, well, yes, it is the cream cheese, but it is also a big city. And I guarantee you, some of them know the University of Pennsylvania, which is in Philadelphia. So, right. So I was like, guys, hello. I mean, it was just like funny. And one of the girls looks at me and like, she's so sweet in general. And she literally looks at me and she's like, so is it called Philadelphia cream cheese because of maybe a certain like a Philadelphia cow? And I actually was very strong, and I did not laugh because I did not want to be disrespectful. Like, you know, I'm sure I've asked so many interesting questions to them about British stuff and culture. And I literally was like, well, no, there are no Philadelphia cows, like Philadelphia cow. And the other 2 girls there just burst out laughing, and they're like, girl, like they just were flaming her up. But it was like so fucking funny. Like I was like crying laughing after I, you know, felt better about like not making fun of her. But like, isn't that beautiful? The thought of Philadelphia cows. I know. Okay, I'm doing the hard part, so I might have to go MIA for a sec. Eek! My spag bowl is coming along. Okay. I think it would be going along quicker if I wasn't vlogging as well. But you know what? You guys haven't seen me, you haven't heard from me, so just wanted to do a wellness check in a way. Also, don't you just love how it's September 5th and I'm already in a sweater and pants? Yeah. It's really not that cold, it's just raining. Hold on, I have to lock in. The beef is going. Wait, I probably should season it. I haven't made beef in a long time, like by myself. Salt. Oh, she's cooking very fast. Please hold. I'm probably gonna need to lock in. Okay, I've returned. The meat sauce is done. Yes. I had to lock in. But yeah, as I was cooking that, I realized it's literally just meat and sauce. I have no onions. I have no garlic. I have nothing but a dream. And also some Italian seasoning. So that's what we're gonna do. As I was not filming, I remembered something I want to talk about, but now I can't remember what that was. So that's really frustrating. It'll come to me eventually. Oh, I remember I want to talk about some things that have been a culture shock, but not in a way that you might have thought. Number 1 being my laundry, like my wash, took almost 3 hours. 3 hours of like, why? Why? I literally, it had the time at 2:50 something, and I thought that meant 2:50 something in the afternoon because it was like 2 o'clock. So I was like, okay, No, literally almost 3 hours of circling. Like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I was like, what? So now, I mean, in the dryer, it actually only gave me like an hour option. But like, in what world do we wash something longer than we dry it? Not my world. You can see my meat sauce. Also known as my meat. But yeah, so that was jarring. Wow, I think I did way too much pasta. Yeah, I think I did way too much. We've migrated to my dinner table. I don't think that I will be recording while I eat, but in the meantime, you can look at my beautiful plate of spaghetti bolognese, also known as spag bowl. Honestly, I don't have much else to say because I do want to eat, but if this does see the light of day, then I hope you enjoyed. I talked about so many like random moments I've had so far in England, but overall, it's definitely going to be an interesting experience. And I want to do check-ins periodically since I can't be on the pod. So with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a lovely weekend or rest of your week. And I'm about to devour this. So, bye.